Legendary chambers versus hidden chambers. When you think of communists, you think of supremacy. Okay, here's immoral. Um, Between here and her, who's the killer and who's the poacher? Who is the hunter and who is the murderer? All right. My story is she's a poacher, but that's mediocre till she's a killer. But listen, she's a poacher. They are poachers. We would have taught them anything. Although, here's the deal. When they tell you that they do senseless things immoral, they mean it or not debatable if they can get away with it. All right, but the politics before the games, relativity before relationship, before you correlate whether a relationship is really a remembrance of a lesson, a life lesson between dangerous and most cost worthy to take a chance to learn. Um, Fact of the matter is, if you lead them to telling you the truth of the matter, if morals are broken and still solidified at the house, but outside of the house, broken under watchful eye of the house, this is what's up. Pick them single in opposition to what doesn't like you in your life. I mean, in your life, pick them exactly opposite. And this is a trick correlation. Pick them in opposition to your comfort. Uh, Another thing. 28 at the 28th degree, that's basic, right? 32, 4 years under, 4 years above, but picked up at the opposition of your comfort. We might and we might not. Between we are the hunters. Well, listen. In the light of thinkers are hunters and poachers, but females in opposition are killers and murderers. Okay? Now I'm gonna bow out, but listen. If you have the inclusiveness to know, don't listen to be informed, not to listen to someone, do so. But always collect your plus degrees. Always collect your plus degrees. What is said off record sometimes won't make it on record if you record it. For instance, residential rules, vice versa, residential war. When you know there's a significant other, question about moving in, entry level, reiterate questioning, residence, tenant, co-tenant situation, balance, balancing budget and finances. Right up there with checks and balances, but balancing budget and financing. Pick the bigger and the better deal, man, before you overexert yourself. You know what sounds good in opposition to what's a good idea. All right, another loop. If you already know her stand up, if you already know her oath, to her womanhood. In the light of if you haven't seen her in over 5 or 6 years, never stray from the initial guideline about her or he. More so, he will change his guidelines if not evolve, but on that side, on her side of the bracket, that never changes. It is just a resource or a fallback on. Listen, mind you this, I'm only telling you this because they're trying to reiterate. Reiteration of relativity before relationship, okay. But between he or her, yeah, this ain't really anything but solidified association or potential acquaintance. At this point, we are dealing around the norms, mark of intent of guest or visitor. Beyond guest to visitor, man, life coaching clerk or intimate secretary, which means accuracy is in review. Relevance is in review. Validity or availability is in review. Not so much availability, unless you are actually bound to an agreement of being a resource for whatever reason. But then reevaluating, yeah, alternatives, alternative routes weigh in before normal routes. In that light, you have to look at it like that. For example, what is solidified is before what is distant. Solidified before distant. Distant or random. Solidification before distant or random. Solidification is credited and official. Credited and official before random or distant, or should I say acquaintances and associates. Solidified before acquaintance and associate. And listen, I know it sounds real colorful, right? Real nice off record. But once you submit it off record, sometimes it's not meant for wax. Because if I submit off record, yeah, man, hold on and let it carry you, build, and yeah, for real. Eat your cake and all that. You add some of your stuff to it. You got your own ice cream, that's cool.